Hey, what's up guys, Benny here and welcome to another Call of Duty Warzone video where today we got another major update which has brought a whole load of changes to Warzone and the rest of Modern Warfare, which I'm incredibly excited about because one of those changes also includes the vaults that have been hidden around the map. So this video is your one-stop shop to everything you need to know about the Warzone update. Also, 86.2% of you watching the video right now are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure to subscribe and I promise you'll get better at Warzone and I'll really appreciate your support for future Call of Duty content. Okay, let's start with one of the most exciting updates that wasn't even in the patch notes, and it's that the loot vaults that are hidden around the map can now be opened. Yes, they're finally not completely locked off to the world, and damn, are they worth opening. First, before you can even open one of the vaults, you'll need to get hold of a red key card, which was actually accidentally put into the game earlier on at the start of Season 3, if you can remember. When you've got this key card, you'll need to head over to one of the 11 vaults that are dotted around the map, and you'll be able to interact with the keypad, and the first set of vault doors will open, and inside the room it'll be filled with legendary and epic chests as well as giant stacks of cash on the floor. And as you can probably see, this vault is going to fully kit out your squad and could be what it takes to turn a game around, as you'll leave here with enough money to buy your entire squad back, along with weapons, gas masks, streaks, everything you could pretty much want in a battle royale. Though there are a couple of things to keep in mind with the vaults. First of all, there's only currently one way in and one way out. So if someone sees you go inside it, it would be very easy for them to camp outside and make it very difficult for you to be able to get out of there alive. So it's definitely a risk versus reward scenario. This could also become a huge way of being able to recover your teammates back into a game if you've all got wiped, because nowhere else in the game has this level and concentration of high tier loot chests. So it could be something you want to prioritize trying to complete if you're wanting to get your team back into the game if you're not in a good place. And finally, this is only the beginning of the loot vault, because though we can open the first door, at the end of the vault, there is a second door, which we can currently not open in the game. So whether the second vault is tied to an Easter egg or something else Call of Duty has in store for us ahead of Season 4, we do not yet know. But we have managed to get a look through the walls to get some sort of idea what could be behind those doors, which looks like a nuke or something similar, which could be tied to the Easter egg or the overall story, or even a major map event that could be tied to the big Warzone Easter egg, because even at the bottom of the patch notes for this update, it says number station redacted is protocol yellow. Activate redacted system. Redacted is inbound, awaiting correct authorization, which to me sounds like it's tied to these vaults and that nuke, but we'll have to wait and see to find out what happens. There's also a telephone inside the bunker which rings, and a Russian voice speaks with Morse code, which translates to all forces, the base is captured. Change the encryption. Right away, they're getting closer. And we got told by Infinity Ward that the map is going to evolve, and that includes what lies underneath. And the bunkers are definitely underneath the map, but it's awesome to see the vaults now have a use within Warzone, and I'm definitely going to try and use these as much as possible. Let me know what you think about the vaults down in the comments below, and what you think is going to happen in Warzone ahead of Season 4. We've also, for the very first time, thanks to Toomba, got a look inside of Vault 11, which, for those of you that don't know, is the vault that you have to complete the Easter egg to be able to get inside. And oh my god, there are some amazing things inside of this vault. First of all, there's a load of stuff to interact with, which may have hints and clues towards what's going to happen towards the next season of Call of Duty Warzone. It's also filled with legendary chests to get some amazing loot. There are so many secrets and stuff inside of here, as well as a way for you to unlock a legendary blueprint for your own MP7 that's on the table called the Mud Drauber. You pick it up, and this is the first time we've seen this in Warzone. You then unlock the MP7 blueprint to use for yourself. So guns are going to be able to be unlocked, which kind of made me think about Blackout and how we were able to unlock like character skins. Maybe we're going to be able to unlock legendary weapons, doing stuff like this, and also the big red shiny button, which is pretty awesome to see and is definitely going to be something that leads towards what's going to happen to the map event that's going to be coming in the future. So it's going to trigger a load of countdowns. You can see the broken bombs inside of the map. There is so much, and I really would love to hear from you. What do you think this is all going to lead towards? Is the map going to be destroyed? Could downtown finally be taken out? Something is big is happening. And here you've got the big countdown on the timer, which he hadn't noticed that period of time, but loads of stuff to interact with. A 10-second countdown going down, which might be the doomsday clock, but that's everything inside Bunker 11. Let's put our heads together and try and figure out what this all means. But the vaults aren't the only thing that started working in Warzone, and it also makes sense for something big to be in the works, with the update being 30 gig. But the phones around the map have also started ringing. Personally for me, this is the sign that a big map event is starting to kick off, and it makes sense as we're not that far away from Season 4. So this gives us a potential 2 to 3 week build up if the Battle Pass timer is correct. But as a community, I'd love for us all to work together to be some of the first people to solve this thing. So please, if you find anything, comment on the video or tweet me at Benny Central, or just go ahead and send me a direct message on Instagram, which is also at Benny Central, and I'll feature your findings in a future video. The next big addition to Call of Duty Warzone with this update is the addition of a brand new field order, the Armour Box. Now, we've all been there, when you're all sharing cash around your squad to try and be able to make sure that everyone has enough armor plates for the rest of the match. And you'll all drop 500 here, 500 there, so everyone has enough cash to get a stack of 5. Well, that will no longer be the case because the Armour Box will fully resupply your entire team's armor in one go. You can buy it from the buy station for $6,000, and it will allow you and the rest of your teammates to get maximum armor plates, just like the munitions box for ammo. And just like the munitions box, you'll also be able to find it out of crates, but at the buy station, it has replaced the shield turret, which I don't think anyone ever bought anyway. But what you can also do, which I think is one of the best things with the Armour Box, which I also think is going to be especially useful for endgame, where your team usually starts running out of plates, is making sure that you have at least one person carrying an Armour Box in the game at all times, so that when you get into those later stages of a match, you can make sure that you won't be running out of armor, or you need to do some dramatic run towards a buy station, which can be pretty risky and get you killed. It's a small addition, but it's nice to see that new field orders are being added into the game, and this is something I'm going to definitely make sure that I use a lot more often than the munitions box. I promise you, players that take advantage of the Armour Box are going to end up winning a lot more games in Warzone than the people who don't. Also in this update, the Most Wanted contract is back, and thankfully this time not at the expense of another contract in the game, so you now have 4 different contract options to choose from whilst playing Warzone. Recons, scavengers, bounties, and now Most Wanted, which has been adjusted slightly and requires you to only survive for 3 minutes rather than 5, so it's a little easier to complete, but the reward is definitely worth it. Personally, I feel like Most Wanted is definitely a last resort contract, as it will get your whole team back into the game along with a little cash, but it is definitely high risk as everyone nearby is going to be coming straight for you. But if you pull it off, you're going to have a great chance of being able to pick up the win as you've got your whole team back. Another exciting change in the update is that there are now a load of new weapons for floor loot, including a legendary SKS, an epic AX50, which actually is built really nicely with a fast aim down sight time. You then have a legendary Kilo, an epic FAL, a legendary MP7, and an epic AUG. Personally, I love that floor loot is constantly being changed, as it really changes up early game with what guns are best to grab for different parts of the map. But that AX50 is probably the best floor loot sniper for early game before you can get your loadouts going forward, and the MP7 is also incredible, so make sure to prioritize that if you can get your hands on it. The other major change to Call of Duty Warzone in this week's update is with the Gulag, as you now only get automatic weapons. There will be no burst or single fire weapons included. So you'll have to change your tactics to win your gulag, because depending on whether you get an assault rifle or SMG, you might not be able to get away with being as aggressive and pushing the other player as quickly as you can, which is what most people do in the gulag currently. With assault rifles, you're going to want to be getting mid-map control and trying to pre-aim the channels, which is where players could come from, and then SMGs you can get away with trying to push a little quicker, similar to what you used to do with the X19 pistol in the gulag previously. But another great change, and personally, I'm just glad I don't have to fight in the gulag with the Magnum or shotguns anymore. Let me know what you think and whether you reckon you'll start picking up more wins in the gulag with automatic weapons. The 10 guns that include the Kilo, the M4A1, the AK-47, the M13, the Scar, and then the Ram 7 for the assault rifles, and then for the SMGs you have the MP5, the AUG, the P90, and finally the Striker 45. This update has also brought a load of weapon buffs and nerfs, with one of the biggest being that Infinity Ward have seemed to develop a hatred, along with the majority of the player base to be fair, for akimbo weapons. The Renettis have been nerfed, which is hilarious after they made it into my top 10 guns in Warzone list, which is now wrong, as they reduced the max ammo reserve, increased the hip fire spread, a damage decrease, and then also did a further damage reduction to damage when Akimbo and the MK3 burst mod are both equipped, pretty much destroying the dual Renetti weapon combo, which, if I'm honest, isn't necessarily a bad thing. What's also interesting is seeing both the Foul and Scar have both had a decrease in their aim down sight times, which might help make them both compete in the fast-paced nature of Call of Duty Warzone. I'll definitely be trying them out and seeing if these changes help improve their standing in the future, so make sure you're subscribed for that. Another small change is that you now don't get the warning for low ammo as soon with belt-fed LMGs. The penalty for holding your breath for too long with a sniper has also been reduced, so you can get away with it a little bit more. Then we've got two changes to the VLK Rogue, which now has an increased rate of fire, increased close damage range for the 12 gauge, and also increased damage range for the 6-inch revolt barrel. Then the Holger 26, which is potentially the worst gun in the game right now, has also received some major buffs, increasing its movement speed along with an aim down sight speed increase, a reduction in the recoil, and not only that, attachments also got a buff, with the F-Tac 8.98 Spitfire barrel now improving more ADS time, increasing your movement, and reducing hip fire spread. The XRK ultralight barrel also improves ADS time, the 30 round mag now reduces sprint to fire speed, faster ADS, faster movement, and an improved hip fire profile. Then the no stock attachment has also been changed along with stippled grip tape, which, to be honest, sounds like they're trying to make this gun usable like the Broyen MK9 is, as it was horrendous before with the slowest time to kill in the game, so it will be interesting to see if anything changes. Also, let's all be thankful that with this update, the RPG has also been nerfed in the game, so RPG spam won't one-shot kill you as easily anymore when you've got full armor on, which is nice to hear. There's also been a ton of other updates to Call of Duty in general, including one of my favorite maps of all time, Hard Hat, being added into the game. It's a Modern Warfare 3 classic and it's going to be a lot of fun to hop in and play again. There's also a new gunfight map called Aisle 9, which is set within Superstore, and excitingly, in Warzone, the final circle now moves, so it won't always go to the exact center, which is cool to see and makes that final circle a little bit more interesting. But really, the thing I'm most excited about with this update is the obvious kickoff for the huge Warzone Easter egg or map event that we've been hearing about for a while now, and it makes sense with a 30 gig update, so please do let me know what you think down in the comments below of what you think is going to happen in Warzone over the next couple of weeks. Subscribe if you're new and smash that like button if you learned something new, and I'll see you next time. Bye!